Hey folks, this is Ben back with you in the Midwest Model Shop. All right, it's summertime, which means model building usually slows down a little bit. We have a short episode today on the Fletcher. We're gonna move forward. I was looking at what to do next, and I decided, hey, we could do these little details up on the bow, most of them, and they'll be out of the way, and I won't damage them while we move back. I was gonna do just the main, like, big parts of the superstructure, the aft, like where the kitchen is and the torpedo launchers. Excuse me, and I think it's the kitchen after the bridge there in that section. We're going to do that in the next episode. So what we'll do today is we're going to focus mostly on the anchors and the anchor chains. You can get them right-ish with just the kit parts. And this is a huge improvement to Trumpeter because every Trumpeter kit, big ship that I've done, they've messed up the hawse pipe hole for the anchor to sit the right way. And I either have to carve something out or cut the anchor or do something crazy to get it to fit. Today you're going to see that the hawse pipe hole on top, the chute, and then where it comes out on the side of the ship, they're actually lined up per the real drawings. I don't know if I'm going to show the drawings, but they're lined up correctly. So it's just a little thing with the anchor to get it to work right. Thank you to everyone who's liked and subscribed. Thank you to all our patrons, especially new members. Really do appreciate it. I appreciate everyone who's gone to the MidwestModelShop.com and made a purchase recently. We really do appreciate everyone who goes there and helps us out that way. Despite summer being summer, and I'm trying to make progress here on this kit, we do have 3 very cool reviews coming. And nobody knows about them except Nora. Nora knows what all 3 of them are, and one of my buddies knows what one of them is because he provided the kit that we're going to review. The other 2 are super duper 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 top secret, and they haven't even arrived yet. One of them's quite unique. So don't forget to like and subscribe, turn on your bell icon for notifications. That will give you that info. And we're going to keep pressing on here with the Fletcher. I enjoy this kit. I'm not having as much time to work on it as I would like to as of late, but there's a groove you get into with good kits. I spoke about that in one of the last Shop Talks videos, and so far this has been a good kit. We're not doing any aftermarket stuff. We're doing it out of the box, but I've enjoyed working on it so far, and I hope that those of you who've got it have the same thing. So, all right, that's it. Without further ado, let's get into the short video. All right, folks, welcome back. So this is the bridge area, right, that we saw last time, except that I've glued and finished painting down our 20 millimeter Oerlikon cannons, and then I've put the support posts in place right here on both sides as well. In the instructions, there's a front one and a back one. Make sure that you get that one right. And then I decided, why don't we move forward and start working on the bow? So we have all of these little parts kind of in place and not all painted yet so that you can see them. The chain I'm going to work on here. There's a little bit of a thing going on here. So it's the kit chain's brass. For reasons, I don't know what they are. I'm sure they're great. They want you to wrap, and by they I mean Trumpeter, wrap the chain around the capstan here, right? So it's coming out of the locker, comes around, goes down like that, okay? No problem. But then they want you to take the other one and have it come out, crisscross over, and go around the capstan the opposite way and back in the locker there also. Don't do that. That's not... these were configured a lot of different ways, and I mean, you could try and make it work that way, but it doesn't make sense. So what I'm going to do instead, and I apologize if that was all out of focus there, what I'm going to do instead is this one's going to come up, go in between the 2 trunks, around the capstan, back down here. This other side, I'm going to drill a hole in the front. These caps, to the locker, they went both ways. And you could just have the chain come right out of here and go straight down to the anchor, right? So if you do some research online, you could pick out how you want to run the chains. They had them in different setups. We'll do something a little more detailed down the road. I'm going to try and take this copper chain and put it in my blackening solution to get it to change colors without having to paint it. Okay, so next thing I want to talk about was the anchor. All right, so we're looking at, this is starboard side anchor, and you've got the hawse pipe hole here, and then where the chain goes down the hawse pipe right here. Now, surprisingly, unlike usual, Trumpeter has the top of this hole and this hole lined up correctly per the drawings. And what we would like to have happen is the anchor to sit, like this, nice up against the hull. But it doesn't work out. When you put the parts together, that's not what happens. Let me show you. All right, there's your standard dealie, and it goes like this. And right away I'm hitting. I can get it to, it wants to come out through the top here, but I'm stuck and I'm hitting. So what is going on here? They're so close, right? So the answer actually lies in the anchor itself. Let me get in close and I'll show you. All right, here's our anchor that I have not monkeyed with. And if you look straight down, you've got a nice, fairly rectangular hole. The issue is you have too much material on the top and bottom here. So when you have the arm come through, it can't pivot enough side to side. All you have to do is remove material on the one side. You could do both if you want, so that the arm throws farther. Let me show you. All right, so this is the unmodified anchor. That's about all the throw you get, right? That's as far as it's going to go. So then I'll show you the other one. So on this one, you can see that I've elongated that hole. And all I did was stick my knife down in there and carve out a little bit. And there's two holes on the spades right there. We're going to put those towards the inside of the ship, towards the hull. So I only cleaned out that one side. And then watch how far the arm goes. So there you can see there's a substantial difference. All right, now let's just take this and install it on the ship. All right, I'm going to try and do this all here. Not making too much of a fuss. This will slide right on up and in, and it sits nicely up against the hull, right? And tip this. There it is, sticking out of the hawse pipe right where it should be for the anchor to connect. And you've got a nice, leans up against the hull look. No trouble. So that's the modification you want to make to both of them. Next thing I'm going to do is just get all this stuff painted up and we'll press on. Alright, so let's install these. Now that I've got my angle right and a little bit of paint, it pushes right up in, and then, like I showed you before, it's coming through the hawse pipe in the right spot. And my chain's falling all over the place here. So now that I'm happy with that, we'll just do a little glue, right? You can even let a little fall down from on top here. It'll just do its thing and it'll stay in place. We'll do that for both sides. So now you've got the proper angle and everything. It even matches the book, right? So we'll put the other one in, then we'll move on to the chain. Okay, this next part, not easy. So you got to take part of your chain, or you don't have to do this. I did it. There's this loop, and it clips on here to the front of the chain, or the anchor, sorry. And I took one link on my chain, and I widened it carefully with some tweezers so that I could loop it through to connect to this link. And now I'm crudely attempting to reestablish my connection right there like that. Ah, geez, let's see here. I think you get to see that. All right, there's the piece. And then here's my length of chain that I can give a little tug on and straighten out. And then obviously I'm going to have to touch up with some paint, but I'm going to drop some glue in here. I want it to stay in place up here so that when we move over to this trunk and whoops, bang my radar. I got to trim it, and I'm going to have it run straight into the top of the anchor locker right here. And then the other one will wrap around on the other side. So, yeah, that's the plan right here for how we're going to do this. And I'm going to have to trim this and get the one link that goes right in there, and we're going to call it good. All right, so now I've done a tricky part, which is cut this chain, and I put a bit of CA glue in there. And we're just going to set it like that. That's it. Now the real one, per the photographs, has little stopper chains here, little safety chains that hang on to things. So now I've got this big great length left. I want to come up, drape it around the capstan, come back this way. That'll work. And we got to figure out which one right here to cut. Whoops. So that we can do the same thing. Put a bit of CA glue in there and drop it into position. Alright, so now we have our starboard anchor. I'm going to try and do this so you can see. We're just going to apply a little CA glue right here. And maybe I'll sneak some underneath here for how it's going to run around. Okay, and I'm going to grab the end and try to fish it around our capstan. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. There it is. And we're going to hold it like this. Boom. Just like that. And yeah. So those are our anchors all installed and some of our bow detail and stuff. And then get this thing straight. The rest of the ship thus far. I'm sorry this was just a short episode. We're going to start moving aft with some of the bigger pieces here, but I figured I'd go ahead and knock this out because it is a bit fiddly, and it is basically the smallest detail that I've ran into so far to deal with. And then obviously, the big thing is getting that angle right. It looks good. And this time we were able to do it with Trumpeter's default stuff. The kit angle, everything's right. You just got to open up the anchor arm. I think that's what it's called, so that the yoke, the spot there, so that thing can pivot all the way like it's supposed to. And you're set. It looks good. All right, folks. Thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. We'll see you in the next one.